This entire story is beyond sad. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the death of 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson out there in Cabo, Mexico, allegedly at the hands of her own so-called friends. Now, I've had my eye on this story for quite a while, ever since it broke on social media. I've been watching it. A lot of you guys have been asking me about it and saying, hey, man, are you aware of Shanquella Robinson? What's your opinion on it? Give us your 2 cents on it. I am ready to do that right now today. I just want to say before we get into the video of the news report, I don't have the video of the actual attack. If you want to see that, I'll link to it in the box. Same thing with the news report. But first things first, I just want to say that this could have been easily prevented if she was not around those kind of people and if they did not act the way that they acted. Also, if you were able to kind of detect certain feelings of envy and jealousy beforehand. And before I get too far into it, let's roll the news clip. Again, if you want to see this, link will be in the description box below.
Some breaking news just into our newsroom within the past hour. We're learning that the Charlotte FBI field office has officially opened an investigation into the death of a woman on vacation in Cabo, Mexico back in October. Now, Queen City News first brought you the story about Shanquella Robinson's mysterious death last week. As anchor Morgan Francis reports, police investigating the case are sharing what they've discovered so far.
Thursday, Mexican authorities told Queen City News Shanquella Robinson's friends lied to them about what happened to her prior to her untimely death on October 29th. An officer investigating the case says they interviewed 2 friends at the villa in Cabo who said Shanquella Robinson had alcohol poisoning. The same story her family says they told them.
They said she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning. They couldn't get a pulse.
It wasn't until her autopsy came back that Mexican police discovered she had a severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is instability in the uppermost vertebrae. They also didn't see this video showing Robinson get violently assaulted until Wednesday. For that reason...
Now, let's go back a little bit. Let's pause and go back. Now, of course, this is the attack video, and that'll be in the box if you have to see it. But there was a rumor that this was a trans woman that did this to her. That's not been substantiated. As far as I know, it was just one of her so-called friends, another woman. Second of all, this attack happened pretty much right when they got there. Within 24 hours of their arrival, this attack happened. So that lets me think, or at least assume, that there was already some tension between these people before they went on the trip. Because why would you get into such a violent attack that somebody allegedly dies due to blunt force trauma, broken neck? Why would a level of violence like that happen right when you get there if there was no prior feelings of animosity, jealousy, envy, or whatever the case may be? So I'm just putting it out there.
Assaulted until Wednesday. For that reason, their investigation is still open and they're looking into her death.
There's a huge financial incentive to keep Cabo open and to keep people feeling safe. So to the extent they can find, prosecute, incarcerate the people that did this, in my opinion, they're going to try to do it.
Kurt Kearns is an international attorney with experience litigating international crimes and investigations. Some of what he has to say might not be the most promising news.
It's a sovereign state. So that's the first misunderstanding a lot of people have, is that, hey, man, if I'm an American and I'm in trouble somewhere, boy, they'll come to my rescue. And the reality is not unless there's a really big interest internationally in coming to your rescue, because they will not upset international relations with a sovereign nation just to help out.
The police officer investigating the case tells Queen City News if they find evidence that leads to an arrest, they have authority to bring the group back to Mexico and, quote, they will have to answer to Mexican law. While the FBI and U.S. State Department say it's not their jurisdiction, it doesn't mean they can't investigate either.
So to add clarity to that, to bring a little bit more to it, they can extradite them back to Mexico, meaning they put them on a plane, send them back, and then they would face whatever kind of laws, jurisdiction there in Mexico. So if they get found guilty of killing this woman, whether accidentally through a fight, whether on purpose, by beating her to death, they can face the penalty in Mexico. It wouldn't be in American court and judge and prison and all of that. So they'd be in jail over there, not over here.
Upon invitation, FBI can come in and assist. Upon, invitation, the State Department can get more and more involved, but it's only upon invitation, i.e., do they want us there?
That was Morgan Francis reporting. Police again are urging anyone with information to contact the local FBI office, and they will relay that information on to Mexican authorities.
All right, so there you have it. And the FBI office, this is in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I think they're the ones, the office in Charlotte, they're the ones handling this whole case. And I think ultimately the so-called friends will get sent back to Mexico and face a criminal penalty there. Now, there's a lot I want to say, aside from what you just saw, which was just the facts of what we know from the police, from the federales, on Mexicans, and whatever. We know the facts from them. We know what the friends say. We know what the autopsy says. We know all of that. But here's what I want to say. This is exactly why you have to separate from some of your old friends, from some of your hood people, from some people that aren't really doing the right things in life, from people that aren't as successful as you and maybe kind of jealous. Now, I'm not saying because you are successful or you're doing something for yourself or you got a little bit of status that you can't be around old friends. I'm not saying that, but you got to understand who you're around. You got to understand how they feel about you. Are they happy for you? Do they cheer you on? Are they in your corner? Do you have any kind of animosity at all? I'm talking about even a little bit, especially with hood people, because a little bit of animosity, a little bit of jealousy can boil over, and then you find yourself in a hotel room deceased. And another rumor that I'm not sure is true, but it could be, is that the body of Miss Robinson was discovered by a housekeeper. It wasn't even like they went to the police and try to save their friend. The body was found by the housekeeper, and it went back to the U.S. They flew back home. Now, if it was my friend and she had died, alcohol poisoning or whatever, I'm going to stay there and try to make sure that her body gets back, and I'm going to try to make sure that everything's A-okay. I ain't going to just hop on the plane, go back home, and then, okay, she's found by the housekeeper. What's going on with that? But I'll move on. This was preventable if she was around better people that would not do this to her. Also, something else. There's a lot of outrage from the black community saying, how could this happen? How could they do this to her? Well, how about this part? And I saw this on TikTok. Somebody made a good point, and I kind of want to piggyback on that point. If I can find that guy's video, I'll link to it in the box as well. But here's a point that was made in the video responding to this. How many of these fights have we seen, and it's not really a big deal? You got the fights in your phone. Remember the whole World Star era? World Star, a fight breaks out, everybody brings out their phone. In the hotel room, there were men watching this, and nobody was breaking it up. The girl was completely naked. So was it a setup? Did it get her up in the morning when she had been in the bed, sleep, and beat her up like this? Drag her out of the bed, beat her up to the point where she dies, and then the men don't try to stop? Not only do the men not try to stop, but they're like invading her privacy, filming her while she's completely naked, getting beat up. So if you're going to be in there while she's like that, you could at least help rather than just having your phone out and acting like it's not really a big deal that this is happening. So the men dropped the ball. They didn't stop the fight. They're recording it. World Star, the so-called friend is beating her up, probably killed her, snapped her neck. But again, if this was just a regular fight and nobody died, then nobody would care. It'd be on World Star. It'd be in the fight compilation, and everybody would say that it's okay. Everybody would just look at it as just a regular thing. Now, I'm not saying human beings shouldn't be able to fight, but what I am saying is, why would your own friend fight you like that to the point where you die? If you're talking about a stranger on the street and it's just some static between strangers, I prefer a fight over some guns being pulled. But if that's your friend, you shouldn't be getting beat like that by your own friend, left to die in a hotel room. That shouldn't be the case. So is it your friend for real? I think that a lot of people, as I close, call people their friends that aren't really their friends. You know this person, you know their name, you might have hung out with them a time or two on occasion, but is that your friend for real? People need to evaluate who their true friends are and who people are that are just acquaintances or somebody that you know or You may know their name. You may know where they live. You may have gone to the same school with them. You may be former classmates in high school, elementary school, but is that really your friend? Because friends do not do this kind of stuff to friends. So may Miss Shanquella Robinson rest in peace. This is very sad. My prayers go out to her family, to her friends, and everyone that loved her. Hopefully you guys are able to find peace within yourself and move forward positively in your life. And to those who allegedly killed her, if it comes back that they killed her and they left her in Mexico, may they get sent up under the penitentiary and rot in hell forever. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this whole case here with Shanquella Robinson? Should there have been better friends involved? Do we just look at fights and this kind of behavior, and especially in the Black community, in a way that it shouldn't be? We see it as just nothing, not really a big deal, kind of entertainment. Pull the phones out, recording, World Star. This is so normal and so common in the Black community. It's not even seen as a problem until somebody dies. Then all of a sudden it's a problem. But maybe it was a problem before the person died. Maybe it was a problem when the fight was going on. Maybe it was a problem when the men were filming the fight and not breaking it up. Maybe it was a problem when there was envy, jealousy, hatred, and resentment toward Miss Robinson before they got on the plane to Mexico. Maybe it was a problem right then. Maybe the issue is with culture. Maybe the issue is with how we treat one another, and all of that led up to this tragedy in Mexico. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.